Hey, board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back with another episode of Gumbo Live. It's episode number 48. Gumbo Live, the number one Facebook Live talk show dedicated to board gaming. I got my special guest tonight, Jeremy from Jambalaya Plays Games and Board Game Revolution Live. We're going to be talking about a lot of games. He is the Kickstarter expert in my world, and I can't wait to talk to him about that. Hey, listen, Gumbo Live is a proud member of Punchboard Media. Check out our other fine members like Open Seat Gaming, Marty, Scott, Sarah. They've got a great blog that focuses on ensuring that everybody that wants a place in the board gaming hobby is going to have a seat at the table. Punchboard Media, where we all bring something to the table. I also want to check out our fine friends over at GameNerds.com. GameNerds.com, they've been providing some of the best prices, best customer service, and speedy delivery right from their home site in Plano, Texas since 2005. Jeremy, I actually bought Azul from them, started talking to them back and forth, and the next thing you know, they wanted to help us out with the show by doing some giveaways, which we're actually going to be doing on the show tonight. But I wanted to show you, they got a deal of the day. Take a look at this, man. They got dice thrown for about $28.
Hey, let me tell you something. Do I need to say this out loud? This is absolutely ridiculous that anybody would even ask me, is it worth it? Okay,
$28, man.
Absolutely ridiculous that anybody would ever ask me, is it worth it? That's ridiculous. Buy the game.
That is game
something to buy the game. Looking for something for your family? Buy the game.
$28 right there. Dice throw. Season 2 is going to be out, or is it out already?
It's very, very, very close to shipping because let's see. I think the BGS Spotlight, they actually had some physical copies that are there, I believe. So,
but hit us up on social media tonight. Twitter at Board Game Gumbo or Facebook, facebook.com/Board Game Gumbo. We'll be looking for your questions in the chat. Speaking of chat, hey, Jeremy, we already have one of the Jeremys here. It's all Jeremys all the time. The Game Geek Ninja says all the Jeremys, Jeremy.
Jeremys collide.
So, Jambalaya, welcome back to the show, man. Just for people, and I don't know who these people would be because you are everywhere, but for the people who don't know you, give us the quick elevator pitch. What is Jambalaya Plays Games, and what happened? How did you get involved with BGR Live?
Okay, so first of all, my name's Jeremy, JambalayaPlaysGames.com, and what I do is I'm a blogger on my own. You may not have seen me. If you guys read me, you would know that I'm not as active as I used to be right now. That's because I have an affiliation with Board Game Revolution, which is a Facebook group of 25,000 members that runs a whole bunch of stuff as far as the giveaways and things like that. It's a very interactive community, but we also have content creators now, and we're working on rolling out some new stuff. So for me specifically, I run the Board Game Revolution live show. It's called BGR Live. It's bi-weekly on Fridays. Usually starts at 7 and it runs to about 8:30-ish. It just depends on the playthrough time. And what I'm doing that night. But you can see showcases of games. So you'll see like 4 or 5 games in an hour, or you'll see, 15, 20 minutes of one. And what I try to do is get everything out there according to what I feel is awesome. And then also maybe like if I have multiple publishers that want to show stuff, I do that too. But yeah, it's got a little bit of everything. And right now it's still growing. So please show us. We have a lot of viewers, but I can always use some more. It attracts more publishers, and that gets me more games in front of you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a couple of people checking in. Bradley Billingsley, who we know from the Board Game Gumbo group, he says, I see Feudum on the shelf behind Jeremy. I think that should be the whole show. Bradley, that is not going to happen. Jambalaya is like the jockey on the horse right now. He's chomping at the bit to go over a bunch of games. But I bet you would do a whole show on Feudum. Is that right?
I would. If I ever played it. I have to I'm all about reps at this point. Like I got this. By the way, finally got my Queen's Army expansion. Finally.
Okay.
So
that'll make Bradley jealous.
Yeah. So that right there, that solo play in there, I'm all about that life right there. So very excited.
We also got Marshall Wells, who runs the Sinlaw game group over there. Hey, Marshall, we have a pretty cool game that we're going to be playing later on. That's right up your alley. So stick around when we do our Jambalaya mashup with Jambalaya.
Yeah.
All right, Jambalaya. BJ from Board Game Gumbo here. I've got Jambalaya from Jambalaya Plays Games and BGR Live. You got some games to talk about. Let's get right to the games. I want to hear about some of your spicy games. Steve O'Rourke's chomping also. He wants to hear about them. He's looking forward to another good show. Yeah. One of those games that you got me interested in that you've been talking about Gizmos. Lay it on me, man. Gizmos.
Oh, man. All right. So this game is by Phil Walker Harding. You may know him probably recently from Barron Park. But he has a lot of games that are kind of like, they're family weight games. They have interesting decisions to them, but they're very comfortable and inviting to everybody. That's why I like this game so much. But generally what you're doing is you're a whole bunch of scientists and you're building kind of like recipes using these energies. And the energies are actually marbles. So what you're doing is there's a whole bunch of cards laid out, levels 1, 2, and 3. They get increasingly harder. And what you're doing is building an engine. So you basically, you have a couple things you can do. So you can file something and put it away. And that basically means you can put it away so you can build it later. It's called putting it in an archive in a sense. You can pick something from a little track that's on here. By the way, this little component that you see here, this nice little track, this is actually really solid. So if you're looking for, if you're looking at
little
this,
table presence,
yeah, this little table presence, really, really nice component. It's actually not that bad at all. But what you're doing is you're building an engine of sorts. You build buildings, and then those trigger other things, and then depending on what you pick as your reward, you can constantly build off that. And I mean, at some point in the game, everybody's feeling super powered. It feels good. The best way to explain it is it's a very pleasing game to play because everybody's getting like a little combo. And then at some point, even when you have, just 8 contraptions built, all of a sudden you're starting to feel it like, oh man, if I do this, I get the blue. If I do the blue, I get this. And if I build a blue, then I get to do this and this and this. And it never stops. There's always a high to it. And it just depends on how far you go. You don't even have to build 16 of these things. You just build, 8. You can feel it already. 10, 11, you feel it. So
it's got those combolicious things that really can pump you up.
It is by far my game. It's my runaway for game of the year right now. It's very hard to get this off the table. Yeah, it's very hard to pull this one off. Like it is, it just feels too good to play. Like it feels too good. Like it is a true energy builder. Like it is a engine builder. It is a true engine builder. It feels
Jambalaya, you play a lot of games, so that
I play
tells me
a lot of
something
games.
there.
Like it is,
and that's
it was
number
hard,
one.
because I got one that's like right there, and when I played it, I was just like, I love playing this game. Like I can't stop playing it. I never say no to playing this game.
So Gizmos was at the Simon booth. I got to watch my buddies from the North Shore, D-Rock and Jason and Nick. I was too late to actually jump in the game with them, but I got to watch the second half of the game. It's right up my alley, man. I love that little convolicious, tableau building, and I love the presence with all the marbles and I call it a gumball machine. I don't know exactly what it is because
that's what it is. It's science, whatever you're building these. I don't care. Whatever. That's fine.
Hey, Chris Strain checking in. Chris Strain, look what I got down here, Chris.
Oh,
I moved up asking for troubles right here into the new studio. So Chris Strain, I got to see him at Gen Con, and he said he actually picked it up. Not sure how he did because the lines
were ridiculous.
The lines at Simon booth was all the way around the place. I mean, it was tough. So, but Chris must know people. Chris knows people.
I have my secret shopper fly in there. I got a little access for that one.
Hey, Steve,
whatever you do, go get Gizmos.
Steve O'Rourke checking in. See if you agree. It sounds like Splendor resource collection from 3 layers, but with the chaining of the combos and a machine that grabs attention. That's pretty fair description.
Pretty fair description. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, he loves them. He says Phil Walker Harding is his top 2 or 3 designers. So, but I mean, there's so many good games from Phil.
Yes, man, that one. Yeah.
Well, Steve and I were talking off the air one day that when we talk about big game designers, we talk about the Knizias of the world, or we talk about some of the modern designers, and then there's Phil Walker Harding, who's constantly putting out games that everybody talks about.
Yeah, I just sometimes people kind of get pushed under because he's a hit maker, but like they're just people who have such mega hits that it's like it pales in comparison, or just the fact that they've been putting out so many games, like Rainer Knizia is just always going to say what everybody. He's been making games since when, who knows when, but it's just a lot of games, And,
so now we know Chris Strain's secret. Yeah. He got it before the booth opens. That's how you do it.
That's how we do it.
Yeah, Bradley, if only you knew a board gaming celebrity who actually had pull. You need to get friends with Chris Strain because Chris can get stuff done. I was too busy working for my buddy Alex Goldsmith over there at the Gray Fox game. So
that's a good man right there.
It was tough. All right, so that is Gizmos. BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, talking spicy games of 2018. You know what, Jambalaya? I'm going to let you pick the next one. What's the one you really want to talk about?
Oh my gosh! All right, so
Let's see if this one gets as many comments as Gizmos did.
It's not, because I tried different things. This one is called Shifting Realms. Shifting Realms is by Soaring Rhino. It is a 2 to 4 player game. It plays in about 60 to 90 minutes. What it is basically it's basically it's like a resource management and building thing. But the tricky thing about this is that it has 5 different boards. And what you're doing is you're laying out 3 boards across there, and they're going to be different realms. And on each realm, it has its own set of like story and objectives that you have to complete. You can build buildings, gather resources, kind of fight it out a little bit. But each realm, even there's 5 different realms. You only use 3 each game. And they basically change the course of how the strategies work. So basically, you have different themes. So you have like the elf people. You have what is this one? Like the Viking people. They have to build and they have to go on voyages on their board. You have let's see, the troll, the Goblin King. So the Goblin King, you have to defeat him 5 times and get resources for that. You have, let's see, these are the mining people. So you have to basically tell their life story through cards. There's 10 cards of each story for each board. And then there's a couple more. But the cool thing about this is that the game actually ends when you complete 2 of the 3 objectives for that board. Okay, so you're basically going to grab these resources, taking your little grunt guys and your scout guys and kind of fighting it out over areas. You're building buildings that are specific to that board. So that's another thing. Everything is kind of like asymmetric to that board. And and then you basically going and fighting it out. I love this game. Like, it is
a game that takes 60 minutes?
It takes 60 minutes. It is like, that's the thing. It takes 60 minutes. I mean, like maybe 75, maybe. Like your first time.
Chris Kirkman calls those 1 hour wonders, and that's a lot of gameplay in that 1 hour.
I'm serious. Here's a cool, here's this one that's really cool. So there's this one where it's a dragon, and it's not like it's heavy on story. The story part of it is really like, hey, this is what's going on this board. So the dwarves have this dragon that's unleashed. You actually get a big dragon mini with it, and the dragon actually it moves through cards. So 6 out of the 10 cards are dragon movement cards. So he's kind of like stomping around the board, bashing stuff, knocking your guys out. And that's just really interesting. Meanwhile, it's got specific task cards for that board. You know, like I said, objectives, tasks, and the story. So everyone has a deck. It changes based on how the boards are placed each time. So you're talking about a high replay game. The artwork's not that great. It shows signs of a Kickstarter game, but actually, it's still high quality stuff. It's just like, you know, it's not going to blow you away with the art and stuff like that. The components are nice. Everything's there, man. I mean, I highly recommend this game. And not enough people know about it. By the way, the Van Hesses are great. They have another game coming out later on this year to Kickstarter called Mammoth. And that's actually, it's actually about something that they're trying to do is resurrect the woolly mammoth and create a place for it to exist. And the game is actually built around that. So, the Van Hesses are great.
So that is Shifting Realms by
Soaring Rhino.
By Soaring Rhino Games. Yeah. Oh, that's a pretty good description. And it almost sounded like asymmetrical play. Almost each person playing a different person totally differently.
No, that's the thing. Like you're just you. Like you're just kind of abstract people, whatever. But the boards are asymmetric. So it's like what you're doing is specific to that board. Okay. So you can run around to different boards and whatnot. But to complete what's going on that board, you have to complete the objective for that board only. Then maybe for another one, and that's how the game ends.
I'm struggling to think of a game that would even come close to that.
There's no game like it. There's none.
Wow.
There's none. Like absolutely none. And that's one of the reasons why I was thinking maybe it was gimmicky, but I was walking past them at Origins, and I just stopped because I saw this guy. You know, I like small publishers, so I stopped by and I looked at his Mammoth game, and then I saw this other guy, and I said, "Oh, I think I remember Shifting Realms. I don't know if I liked it, but I want to give these guys some coverage." And then I ended up leaving that booth like, "Oh, people need to know about this game. You know, they need to know about both of these games, and they're good guys too. Shout out to both of them, and they did send me a review copy, so I'm very thankful for that.
And that is Shifting Realms. I'm writing this down because that sounded pretty good to me, man.
Yeah, it's just really solid, and I'm serious. It's just a really, really solid game. It's beyond solid. It's a really good game. I can highly recommend that one.
How you like that? Game Nerds has it right now in stock.
Yeah, it just hit retail. Just hit retail. Not too long ago. Yeah, like maybe a week
interesting.
ago. Mm-hmm.
Shifting Realms. All right, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here. We are talking spicy games of 2018 with my buddy Jambalaya. Jambalaya, who does the Jambalaya Plays Board Games blog, and also you can find him all over the internet, especially at BGR Live. But tell us, you got something else. What's that next game?
This is another one. So I was actually in the same lane, and I looked to my left after looking to my right for them, and on my left I saw Archmage, and this is by Starling Games. Starling Games is part of Game Salute. So what this game is basically you're rivaling mages. Okay, so right away we're thinking, oh no, mage is boring. Okay, we've seen enough mage. Yep. What you're doing is traveling across this board, and it's basically like an area influence, area dominance game. And you're basically unveiling tiles because all the tiles are upside down and you can't see them. And you unveil them, and you have wilderness tiles, you have camp tiles where you recruit more people, and then you also have city tiles. And what you're doing is trying to basically spread your influence across the board by knocking each other's guys out and building up your camp of people. But in the middle of the board and on the outside of the edges are these mythical beings and whatnot. So what you do is if you end your turn on wilderness, you get resources. If you end your turn on camps, you recruit more people. But if you end your turn on these people, either the hybrids or the main mystic people or whatever, you actually go to your board. And this is the selling point for the game. And this is where it gets really meaty and interesting. So what you have is this, you know what, actually, let me just pull this out real quick. I'm sorry. And I'll try to make this a little bit more. Okay, so what you have.
Get you on the solo there.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, so what you have here is a spectrum board. And you're gathering the resources and you put them in these little slots. Okay, so that's where your little resource board is. But what you're doing is as you go to these mystics, specific ones, you take your little guys and you sacrifice them and you have them kind of come together and create new spells. There's 18 spells in this game. And what happens is when you start having your little guys kind of like duke it out, they go to the next advanced level. And then when they come together again, they go to the next advanced level. And you're actually trying to manage yourself so you have enough apprentices and followers to do this. Because you can actually lose your spells as you go up if you keep sacrificing people. So there's a lot of management that goes on within that. And the spells are just, they're so overpowered. And that's the best part. Like when you do the work to get these spells, you want to keep them. So as you sacrifice these people, you want to make sure you have more. So you don't lose a spell for upgrading. So it's like, hey, you get the next best spell, but this one also helps you move around fast, so you need it too. So you have that management going on. And this little cool mechanic up here is actually how the rounds are. So each one of these represents like kind of like the different powers of the game. And they start all the way out here and they move inward to kind of like, you basically manage how they move inward towards the middle. And when all the stars align, the game's over.
Yeah, Steve O'Rourke says that looks like with the earlier part that you were talking about, they look like Venn diagrams, and that's actually the mechanic.
Yeah, and that's I'm sorry, did I say like spectrum? But anyway, Venn diagram. So they come across each other, and
interesting.
Like I said, so like this, you see how this green and red are right here.
Yeah.
So you have green, you have blood magic, which is actually from fighting people, and then you have green, and then what happens is you may have like 2 or 3 followers here. And then you go to your big mage tower you put down. And then you go there and you sacrifice these 2 people and they become 1 follower with this spell. But if you have nobody here, you lose these 2 spells.
Okay.
So, you have this cool spell right here, but you lose these 2 guys. And then you have to have these. When you make these 2, then you can do it here. So as you notice, there's a little bit of like, oh, I need to be spread out kind of like in different ways to get to the master spell. This is a good game.
Yeah, Bradley, you got to check this out, Bradley. This is something I've never seen before. You're gonna want to check that. I want to hear what Bradley has to think about what he thinks about that one.
So with that being said, on this one, I also want to give a shout out to Starling Games, who had is under Game Salute, and Game Salute is a brand that kind of had a difficult year last year, and I was one of those people. I was one of those people that was like, screw this place, blah blah blah, all that stuff, right? But after the second launch of what's the name of Black Orchestra,
right?
Everdale delivers early, and now we have Archmage, which I feel like is like everybody's just kind of like, wait, what is this? And they have some great stuff going on, and Brenna Noonan has been really, really good at being interactive and in the community. So I'm going to champion for them from now on moving forward, just because they basically made a shift, and I always give people a second chance. I mean, this is America,
Yes.
So yeah, I know we can be sensitive as gamers and stuff. Hey, this stuff ain't free, right? So,
yeah, look, I've seen the Facebook comments whenever you post about Starling. You get a lot of negative comments, but I'm like you. I'm willing to give the games a second chance.
Right, and that's the thing. And then when the people behind them, step up and then they take it, and they respond, professionally, that means they care about your dollars, and they also care about giving good customer service. And honestly, I think she represents the community really well. I've seen her on BGG do it, with the Everdale campaign. They got bashed. And they even responded to that, one weekend. They came back and just was like, this is what we're doing. We're changing all up, explained everything. I'm like, that. I'm down with that,
Well, Jumble, I'm going to tell you, at Gen Con, Everdell was everywhere. People were playing it everywhere. That was a very popular game at Gen Con.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve O'Rourke's got a question for you about the previous game, and that was Shifting Realms. He said, sounds like each kind of realm has a mini arc or a set of plot points that you walk through.
Yes,
that's kind of what you're describing.
Yeah, so it has a set of 10 story cards, and what the story cards will do is they'll tell a little bit of a story, but they kind of give you like little extra little powers based on what's coming out. The benefits of those is, of course, like I said, they kind of get you closer to getting the resources so you can get those buildings out. But I think the thing I undersold was like how each realm also has its own like building types based on theirs. It's not samey either. It's they all are kind of thematic. It's just a really good game, man.
Joel, you always bring me these crazy games, and I didn't know anything about Shifting Realms. I've seen the name of it, but I'm telling you, I'm calling Bradley out. He's got to check these two games out because these are both very interesting.
That's a really good game, man. That's a really good game.
BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guest Jambalaya plays games, also from BGR Live. That's Friday nights, right? Friday nights, BGR Live.
Yeah. Yep.
You are known as the Kickstarter guy. I mean, you do a lot of work in promoting some of the Kickstarters, playing Kickstarters. You play a lot of prototypes. You're very involved in that. I want to talk about some of your Kickstarter games on your list.
All right, man. So let's go ahead and start with these people who are pretty cool.
What's a good game for us to talk about?
Okay, so I think I'll talk about my friend's game first because it's really close to me, and we're Wisconsinites, so we got to.
That's what we're all about, man.
Yeah, Wisconsinites, we got to stick together here. So this is Lockup. It's by Thunderworks Games. It just hit Kickstarter today. It's by my friend Stan Kordonsky, and what it is basically set in the role player universe, but it's
role player like the role player put the dice and the dice placement, the roll and write game.
Yeah,
not roll and write, but it's a dice placement. Sorry.
Well, it's actually based in a universe, and all that really means is that the art is going to be familiar, and the theme and the monsters are going to be familiar. And Keith is kind of building off this universe, but Stan just came up with a game that kind of fits that mold, and it takes you to a prison where these Kubloats are in prison. Now, I'll show you a little bit about it. Show you how some of the art is.
You're going to have to convince me on this one, Jambalaya, because role player didn't make my list.
Role player was like, okay. It wasn't my jam. It wasn't my jam. Like, I understand why it's popular, though, but it's not my jam. Like, I got tired of it pretty quickly. But I played the heck out of it when I did, though. I was just like, I think this has got a termination date on it. So basically what you're doing is, and I'll kind of bring this up here, is you have these guys right here, and they're numbered. They're like numbered. Let me see if I can bring them up close. But they're numbered like, 6. They're not 0 through. They're basically 1 through 6. And what you're doing is you're placing them in different areas. So this is a worker placement game, and you're placing them in these 6 areas around a jail, and they have different values on them. And you're trying to, of course, establish dominance in those areas. Okay. What you're doing is kind of making shiesty moves, gathering these resources, and trying to be inconspicuous because you can raise your suspicion up. And what you do is if you win majority of that, you get suspicion pieces and you gather those resources. You also can hire like little thugs and stuff like that to kind of help you do your deed. So if you notice some of this art, it looks just like kind of role player art.
Okay. Yeah, I recognize the art.
All right. So yeah, so the iconography is there. You can also hire these guys, of course, to fulfill quests. They also have items that kind of look like the role player items. I have this on my board right now. I'm playing the solo.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks very, very, very familiar.
Yep.
And what you're doing is yeah. So basically, you're grabbing these resources over 6 rounds, and then there's a lights out phase. And what you're doing is trying to like cover up your bases. And if there's a raid, then the person who has the most exposure, which is the thing, the exposure is having these little tokens that say, hey, like we're being inconspicuous or whatever. The cool little part is that they have like this guy who's like your sight guy, and he stops you from gathering those suspicion tokens. So let me see if I can.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay.
I can see it.
Yeah. Okay. And you're basically trying to hide your identity so that you don't pick up these suspicion tokens. And it's not actually light, because the decision you're making is being deceptive. You can place these down. You can place them face down and face up. So some people will know what you have and what you don't have. So there's a little bit of an interesting choice there. There's also a guy who's like your muscle. You can power him up by placing him on a location. And what eventually happens is he can become more powerful than one of your actual chips.
Oh,
so
okay.
You also have that too. So there's a lot of little things in there. At first I was like, I was like, Stan, this is okay. But I mean, you're living off role play or whatever. He was like, no, that wasn't my intention at all. And, once I got to play it a couple times, I was like, there's a lot of little smart decisions in there that, just by the bluff and fake out, fake in, fake out kind of stuff that makes this game just fun. The solo plays about 30, 45 minutes. Yeah, it's a good game, man. I mean, like if you're in a role player and you want to go with that universe, I mean, I can suggest it. I feel like that's a safe suggestion.
And that's Lockup
that's
in the
Lockup.
role player universe, and it's also from the same publisher.
Yes, it's from the same publisher. Thunderworks Games is based here in Madison, I believe. Keith Mateka, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is interesting. BJ from Board Game Gumbo here. I've got Jeremy, Jambalaya Plays Games, with us talking about some different Kickstarter projects. Hey, I've got one for you. It's only got a couple of days. Are you familiar with a little quick game that, let me bring up a screenshot of it here. It's called Hens, and it's out from a company called Social Sloth. They're an imprint right behind, underneath Gray Fox Games. Alex Goldsmith, one of my buddies from the Dukes of Dice, is the social media manager, the chief noisemaker over there. Yeah. And he's running the campaign for Hens. He actually sent me the prototype files, so I printed them out and I tried them. You and I are on the same segment, that crowd surfing segment with Dice Tower. Yeah. And so I tried it out, and I hope Alex isn't offended. When I saw the files, I was like, well, this isn't that much of a game. I got to try this. And it's one of those games that just flat out surprised me. I had so much fun playing it with me and my wife. Now, what I had to do is, I had to print out the prototype files, and my wife and I went to Marshall's, and Michael's, and we bought some little plastic gems for it to make up the thing. But what I asked my wife, I said, why do you like this thing so much? Because normally she's like, I don't even want to play something like this. And she said, number one, the real-time aspect is very, very short. We both like Steam Park because you only do the real-time dice play, the dice rolling part for just a minute, right? Same thing with Hens. It's a total of 20 seconds. You roll the dice real quick, and those determine the 5 actions you can do on the board. And basically, you have each a chicken pawn. You're putting these little gem grains out on the farmyard, and then you're going around the farm using the action dice to pick up the gems. And then the third component comes in, just like in Sagrada or in Role Player. The gems that you're picking up have to fit the patterns of what is basically a Fabergé egg. So you've got a little bit of real time. Yeah. You've got a little bit of take that strategy as you use your action dice, and then you still have to do the patterns. Yeah. So take Sagrada and Steam Park and smash them together, and it plays in only 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That's Hens.
That's me right there. That's me. See, the thing is, we're moving in this wave right now where a lot of games are going to get looked over. I mean, let's just be honest. But there's also, like, especially on Kickstarter, I like games that are trying to do something slightly different, just slightly, ever so slightly. and that have a small imprint, because now I'm starting to struggle for space. It's nice to have all these big box campaign games, and even the medium ones, like even the medium ones and these, medium-sized boxes are stuffed to the nines with all this stuff. And honestly, I'm a backpack gamer. Like I like to have a ton of stuff in my backpack. My friend today, he's like, man, I'm about to get out of work. I'm sick. He's like, man, please play a game with me at lunch. I'm like, all right, man.
Nice.
I got like 5 games in my bag. So he's like, I know you got games.
Jim Hens is the kind of game that you could play at lunchtime with your buddies.
Yeah, and that's
the
what
Game Geek
I
Ninja
want.
is checking us out. He says, I want to play this chicken game. Well, Jeremy, you can check it out right now. It's on Kickstarter. It's only got a 40. It's in that 48-hour mark. Yeah, it looks like it's going to already fun, and they're working on some of the stretch goals. So
all right,
check that one out.
I'm down with that.
Hey, we got a couple of people checking some things out today. Dan Cheston, who you and I know from our favorite little Facebook group, the Gateway and Filler Games group. Yeah. Dan says he just backed the game you were talking about today. Yeah. That was the role player Lockup.
Yeah, Lockup.
So thanks, Dan, for helping Jambalaya's friend. Now, Bradley's got a question. Lockup looks a lot like Delve. I don't know if you played Delve from any boards and cards.
It's not at all.
He says, I like Delve, so got to check it out. Why is it different from Delve?
It's not the same at all.
Prove me wrong.
Because Delve is actually Delve is a whole bunch of tiles. This is not all. Like, this is actually a placement, worker placement. You are only placing these. You're placing these little tiles, which I think is what you're seeing. But there is that majority part to it. Actually, I should just say, okay, that part's there. Okay. But it's still in a worker placement thing. It's more worker placement area influence. So I don't know. I guess I can see some of that. I can see some of it.
Bradley's a smart guy. So
I'm pushing back hard. Yeah, I'm pushing back hard. Yeah.
James Reed Jr. checked in. Hey guys. Hey, thanks James for checking in on the show. We got Jambalaya on here. BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got Jambalaya from Jambalaya Plays Games. You got any more games for us that you want to talk about? Some of those Kickstarter favorites maybe that you want to talk about? I know there's a game that Bradley would love to hear about. If you could bring out that Paper Tales expansion, man. Do you have it?
Man. Oh, Paper Tales. Okay, so Paper Tales. All right.
Bradley, he's already played the Paper Tales expansion, and we don't even have it in the Gumbo yet.
Okay, so this is not Kickstarter. This is somewhere around Essen, I think. It's going to be. I think it's right at Essen or right before Essen. So you know what? You don't know what Paper Tales.
Baby chicken pawns are peoples. Okay, I like that one, Steve.
So basically, it's a card drafting game, and it's kind of like a tableau builder where you're basically playing through a tale of your city or whatnot. And what you're trying to do is establish a nice city with some of the 5 cities that and they kind of contribute to your engine. And then also you're drafting these people, like people and magicians and all these different themed guys or whatever. And it's only played over 4 rounds, so it's real quick and kind of aggressive because you have to score points through battling.
It's true.
Building your people up. You can't be cute. You got to if you stay to yourself, you're kind of missing out on points, like a kind of big chunk of points. So there's that.
I didn't realize how important the war aspect of that Paper Tales games is.
So important. And it's like, if you miss one round of it, you got to kind of really force it, like, oh no, I got to force this.
Money and war. They are both important.
Money and war. So, and that's really it's really just interesting. But anyway, so this is the expansion. Now the expansion adds the Lich King stuff. So you have this Lich King, and what it is basically the automas for solo play.
Oh, okay.
So that was a big thing for me. The big thing was the solo play, and it's still played over 4 rounds. It still has an interesting draft mechanic to it. So basically, you just draft 5, pick 1, draft 4, pick 1, draft 3, pick 1, draft 2, and then you take 1, and then you just take the top card off the deck. So you actually still get your cards, and then the Lich King, he takes the cards that are in that leftover deck, that you just made, and he uses that to score points off these cards.
Okay.
Like if they fulfill certain conditions. But the other big part of it is that they add 6 buildings.
6 more buildings.
Yeah,
oh, that's my favorite part of the game is the buildings.
That's the best part. And these buildings are crazy. Like there's a crypt that you do stuff with the dead, so it makes your people die faster. But there's also relic people in there that actually live longer and score more points if you have more chips on them. And that was a big flaw of the base game, was the relics, that if somebody got those, they could just score a ton of points and put death chips on them.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen people get that, and you're just like, come on, man, I can't beat that. You can get 15, 20 points off that, and so they have that one. I like
now. Jambalaya, how does that work? So you already have the original 5 or 6 buildings in the base game, and now you've got these new 6. Are all 11 in there, or are you drafting what
so
buildings are coming in?
you do 5 or 7. So if you do 5, you can just kind of mishmash them. But what you do is you take the 4 initial ones, and then you take the other ones and you kind of shuffle them up, and then you take 3 out, and those 3 will be the ones that everybody has, and that's it. It's just like another draft of the same thing. So yeah, definitely interesting. It takes it up to 7 players, and if the base game, it doesn't matter at all if you have more people, because honestly, you're just fighting a person left and right of you. This game, yeah, man.
We need to get more people talking about it. And hey, there's Dan Cheston checking in. He says he enjoys Paper Tales, the base game. For the expansion, solo mode is all they had to say.
And I'm serious. Like, I put that on Twitter the other day, and I was just like, and it's like Stronghold responded right away. I'm just like, but you don't understand, like, the fact that you put a solo in there, and it feels like the game, And the thing is like those cards that I'm talking about. So they have rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's 4 or 5 of each one of those. So it's not like you're going to get the same one. You shuffle them, you do it. Like, you're not going to be playing the same game. And they put land cards in there for the Lich King to raise the difficulty too. So, I mean, yeah, man.
Hey, there's Bradley checking in. I'm really enjoying the base game. We'll probably pick up the expansion of BGG Con unless he gets impatient. Yeah. Not a huge solo player, which is true, unless it involves heretics. But I love the new buildings. So
this is the new buildings really take it. That takes it over the top.
Are they adding cards into the mix too? Or are there some new cards?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's some really interesting cards in this one. But like I said, there's more relic people in there. There's more like overpower people. There's more like these time mages that move things around from other people. They have quite the variety in there. And they added more of the ones that are fun in the base game too. So everybody's getting the same juice, and you know how it is, man. Manage that money, got to fight it out. There's nothing worse than having a dead round where you can't do either one that well. So, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
AJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guest Jambalaya from Jambalaya Plays Games, who also does that BGR Live. Yeah. I want to talk about a game real quick. I think you've played Into the Trail. Have you played that one?
It was one of the first games I ever previewed. One of the first games.
Wow! Okay.
The rest of my gaming life.
I thought you played it. Hey, look, I will tell you right off the bat that not everybody in the Gumbo was happy with the artwork in it. I liked the artwork. Yeah. I didn't love the artwork, but there was some in the Gumbo that didn't like the artwork at all.
You know what?
What do you think about the artwork?
Honestly, I don't care. I don't care. Like that I don't care. I'm not falling in love with the box, man. I want to play the game.
Man, we debate artwork in the Gumbo. That's a big thing.
No, I appreciate good artwork when I see it, and I will without a doubt say, hey, that is amazing. Like Lady and the Tiger, that artwork is amazing. You can't deny it. But like this one is okay. It's nice, average. It's not terrible. It looks minimalist for a reason, and I like the edginess to it. I like that kind of scratchy pencilless kind of look to it. I mean, I like it. It's rough lines. I like that.
So we've actually played Into the Trail a lot because we did a review for them, and I like by the way, I like the guys from Elf Creek Games because they're very responsive on social media. They're very responsive on email. But that being aside, I still got to look at the game itself. And the game started a little bit slow for us. Yes. As I've played it more and more, and I've played it a bunch I've actually played it with 3 different groups now. Mm-hmm. And the more that I've played it, the more that I've come to appreciate some of the deeper levels of strategy on it. The game doesn't take long. It takes a little bit of time to teach because there's so many different mechanisms built into the game. And let's give a quick overview. Yeah. Let's give them a quick overview of what the game is.
Okay, so basically what you're trying to do is build a poker hand. Now let's go back. So what you're doing is your prospect is you're traveling across this board of tiles, and the tiles are nuggets of gold under there, and they're hidden and they increase in value as you go to different planes. So like for the foothills, they're going to have like I think 2, 3, 4, 2 and 3s, and then as you go down, like the canyons have more, so they're like 3s, potentially 1, 6 I think is in there. And then the mountains are going to have and the mountains have the most. What you're doing is you're taking these cards who have multi-uses. They have money on them, and they also have an icon for horses. So you're using those to bet and build.
They have so many multi-use cards.
Right.
I mean,
so they have
they can be used so many ways.
Yeah. So it's actually for the value of that card, then the money on that card.
First player token.
Right. First player token. The horse, the animal on that card, and then maybe even a power on that card. So
power
all that,
and then building the in-game poker hand. It's like 5 different uses.
So I mean, it's really smart design. But let's just go real quick through it. So you have the auctioning phase where you can use your cards to auction to get a pool of cards. That helps you dominate and have more choices as you go into the round. Then you have the prospecting phase where you use those cards to bid to go first. But they also have a usage of saying, these are the moves that I'm going to use during the turn. So when you actually go out and you prospect, you're using those cards to move across the board and decide where your guy is going to go. All right. So when you do that, you have a little bit of a press your luck element. One, you'll turn over the tile wherever you decide to go, and horses can go everywhere. I think the oxen go through the bottom 3 rows, and then I can't remember the other one. The mule, I think. No, the mule goes to the rest of them, and then the oxen goes across. I think that's
the oxen
one
mules.
across.
I forget now.
I think it's oxen, mule, horse. I just can't remember off the top of my head. But
yeah, the horse is at the top for sure.
Yeah, horse at the top. But anyway, so it's like that. So they can travel further. And what you do is you take a peek, and you can see your number. You can choose not to push your camp there, and that's important because if you put your little tent there, you can that's temporary. That can be moved around. And if you put the camp there, you're holding it down. And the reason why you want to hold it down is because if you put that thing down,
found a 6.
You found something that's nice, right? You know it's either a 5 or a 6. You know it is, right? But if you decide to press your luck, you can just put your guy there and stay in the round. But when you stay in the round, you're also getting an opportunity to play your cards. And the reason why you want to play your cards is because you're still trying to build a poker hand.
Right.
But then there's also the risk of staying out there and not finding the right one and busting. So there's a little bit of poker of play. And then at the end of the game, there's a poker of hand. So at the end, you'll have your actual hand of cards to play as a poker hand at the end. Those score points. You win or lose the game. A couple other things that are in there that I think are really important is the use of the cards that have ways of pushing people out and moving them around, or you can kind of peek and move later for free. You can bust and not bust. There's a lot of little tricks that are in there. But I think this game does have it has like kind of a pushback moment because you're like I'm betting, I'm not betting. What are these? Especially when you go into that prospecting part, because it's like, I want to use these cards because I know that these animals mean to move. I know that. But what people may miss, and they tend to miss this, is like, not only that, but you definitely want to get 1 or 2 cards ready for that poker game.
You have
to.
Like
that's a thing that people miss. Because sometimes when I play with people, they would only have like 3 cards or 4 cards. And I'm like, you still have to play these cards. You can't be conservative and just think about the, that you're looking for this one thing. And what happens is if you get better at the strategy, you may not even have to have all your tents out, and you can still win the game. You don't even have to have all your camps all set up. You can still win the game and not get that 4th one out there. So I try to tell people, like, it's not all luck based. It's press your luck, but it's not all luck based. You can strategize a way to win without getting that last one out there.
It was a tough review for us to write because the opinions on it were so varied. What I should have done is like the opinionated gamers and had the main text of review, and then all of us chime in with all of our different thoughts. That's probably what I should have done on it.
Yeah,
I liked it. Not my favorite game. Well, it's not going to make my top 10 of the year, but it is definitely one that I could bring out. And what I do like about it, the more that I've played it, the more I like it. I think it's a game that rewards multiple plays.
So I think it's a good game. The components are solid. The nice thick tiles. If you have the deluxe edition, you also get these nice little meeple guys. You also get gold nuggets if you want that too. But it does have a solo mode. I have yet to play it yet, but it does have a weird way. Yeah, it has a weird way of like betting against the by a flip of cards. I'll try it and kind of get back on that. But for my review, I think I'm just going to focus directly on how the game plays. I mean, honestly, I saw Tom on Dice Tower. I didn't necessarily agree with it. I didn't agree with that review. I just felt like it was too critical, but I do understand that this game does have a barrier of entry that people can just miss, and that first experiences are important. So I definitely have to be honest with that as well.
It's not a game that some people. I'll be honest. Some people are not going to like it the first time they play, and the 3rd or 4th time they're going to play, they're going to be like, I get it.
And I think that's one of those like I call it the run it back game. You either have a moment where you go like, I want to play that again, or it's one of those games where it's like, hey, let's play this again. So now that you see it, and they may go, they play the game, and I think it will open up. And that's, I know that's not a big selling point for some games, but honestly, like, it's in a good price point, and it is a good game. It's not, like I said, it's a good game. I just not
Yeah, Bradley's joining me here. Helps when the person teaching doesn't forget two major rules. I
Oh
may
my
have
gosh.
messed up a rule
Oh
or two
my
there, but I
gosh.
fixed it. I fixed it, and we
Uh,
played it plenty of
oh my
times after that.
goodness.
Don't listen to
Yeah.
Bradley.
He's like,
BJ,
oh, it's round 3. Oh,
yeah, let me throw. We did mess up or in our early game. We messed up two major rules, but we
okay.
fixed it after that, and we got
All
it,
right.
and we enjoyed the
Yeah.
game. But again, there's some people we all think of board gamers as one and done. There's so many games we don't have
Yeah.
time to play games that aren't maybe as rewarding. I know a lot of people on our Facebook group that filler games and gateway game Facebook group. They don't play games one time.
Yeah.
Dan and these guys, they play games dozens and dozens of. Jonathan, for instance, plays games dozens and dozens of times. Steve O'Rourke plays games lots and lots of times.
Yeah.
So for those people who are willing to invest a little time, want something different, that poker mechanic it's the best version I've seen of a poker mechanic in a game.
Right.
So I think that's who I would recommend into the trail for. Maybe it's not for everybody.
Have you seen this? Have you seen this, man? This guy right here, Most Wanted. North Star Games?
No, I don't know anything about that game.
Oh, this game is so fun.
Poker?
This game is so fun. It's got poker in it.
I did not like Tiny Epic Westerns.
Yeah, you don't have to know poker, but it's like a family game. Wow, we're gonna do this. So basically, this game you're going up like a track, like a Most Wanted track, and it's got sets of cards. So it's like a party game. It's six or seven players. And what you have is a hand of cards, 6 through ace, and you're dealing them out, and you have 3 on the side that are good things to do, like to get your card base up and your money up, and then the other side are like robberies and crimes. So what you're trying to do is become the most wanted up to number 13, I think it is. And what you do is on your turn, you can decide what you want to do. So you can say, hey, I'm going on a robbery, and that robbery is 3 cards. I bet I have the best 3 cards. And then everybody can decide whether they want to join in or not. And then whoever wins gets to move up a certain amount of slots depending on what it is. And whoever loses has to go back down the most wanted chart, but they can pay money bags to stay in it and keep going, right? So what's interesting about this game is that it's got little tricks, different types of like little things you can do. So there's a duel where you can say, hey, I challenge you to a duel. And I'll pull out 2 cards and be like, you have to beat me with these 2 cards. I'll pick a player and say, hey, you have to beat me. And then if I win, I go up the track. It's got like a 4-card one. It's got all different types. You can set up these different scenarios with it. Really, really a fun party game. It has a lot of gotcha moments to it. And one interesting thing is since it's 6 through ace, 6s beat aces. So there's always that moment where it's just like, you think somebody's got it, and then they'll pull it. It usually happens every game. Like where somebody's just like, no, 6s. So this is one where you don't have to know poker, which is really good because there's no straights or anything like that. There's no straights or full house. It's just more so like 3s, 4s, and whatnot, stuff like that. So really, really fun game. I saw this at Origins. It's supposed to be out by now, but I don't know. It's probably coming out really soon now. But yeah,
Who makes it?
This was North Star Games. So North Star Games did this, and they also made Warsaw City of Ruins.
Oh yeah, Warsaw, sure.
Yeah, so Warsaw. Yeah, they had both of these. I got both of those at Origins. Yeah, I'm really, if you're looking for at least a nice little family-ish game, this is really fun, and it does play well all the way up to 7. It actually plays well at 3-player. It's got a 2-player variant, but I would say stick with the 3 and upwards. Definitely want to break out. Takes about half an hour. Really good game.
BJ from Board Game Gumbo here. Before we get to the Jambalaya, mashup game, hey, there's Jonathan checking in right now. I want Most Wanted, so you sold it, man. That sounds like something you want.
Can I push one more game? Can I push one more game in here? Can I squeeze one?
Sure.
Can I squeeze one more? Because these are people that I can consider like I'm a kind of a fanboy of outside of chip theory games.
O'Rourke says he wants to play Warsaw City of Ruins. So the
father. It's a good game, man. It's a really good game.
We may have to talk about that next time.
This one is Street Masters. So Street Masters is by Blacklist Games. This game right here, this is my going against the grain, no more minis type of game situation going on here. So what this is kind of a homage to like, let's say Streets of Rage, Street Fighter, Final Fight, all those side scroll beat 'em up games.
Sure.
And, dudes on the map, minis, things like that. So right away, either turns you on or turns you off, right? I didn't care about this game at all. Then all of a sudden, I discovered the Sattler brothers on YouTube, and they were playing this game constantly. So I was like, let me check it out. Dice Chucker or whatever. This game, let me tell you, it is absolutely amazing. Now, this game is actually going to be, I believe it's in my top 20. Like,
wow,
it's that good. Now, what happens is in this game is that you have different scenarios. So you got the dudes. The combat system is really easy. So you chuck the dice, you get attack, and you also get defense. So every character that you're fighting against, and you have certain types of defense, and you have these certain action cards that do these powers. You can save up the powers for defense. You can save them up to do these superpowers and get revved up like you would in a fighting brawler game.
Sure.
But the layers of actual strategy come through a lot of different things. So every character has its own deck of cards, right? Asymmetrical decks, right? But even the bosses do, and even the boards that you play on do. Okay? So
okay.
Even the boards you have play on. So like one mission you're trying to keep these cash alive. One mission you have people are trying to escape this area and they're attacking you as well. You have one where it's like a lab where it's a clone lab, like let's say like in a Ninja Turtles movie, and like all the clones are coming out, so you have to put all these minis on the board, and they're just trying to take you out, like they're trying to take you out like a zombie board. So it's crazy levels of strategy, and each character has their own story mode. Okay, so they have their five section story mode. They have 2 campaigns in there. They also have sidekicks that come in the mission, so they can come in and out. So you can have sidekicks and rivals. Yeah.
There's a lot going on in this game, Jeremy.
I mean, like, dude, I'm serious. I will champion not only this game but the people behind it, and I got hooked on it, and I played the heck out of this. I started painting minis again.
And that's Street Masters from Chip Theory Games.
Blacklist Games.
Oh, Blacklist Games.
They have a new Kickstarter coming out next month on the 23rd, which they can't keep any of their games in right now. Like, they can't keep any of them in. They're sold out. They open up the website with the rest of their stock, shut down in 3 days, gone.
Wow.
Yeah, like, they're heavy in the community, heavy in the solo community. This game takes no more than an hour max. When I say max, if you play solo, you can play in 30 minutes. If you play 2-player, you can play in 40 minutes maybe. Like,
one of the guys in the Gumbo, Carlos, has been raving about this Street Masters game. So now we're hearing more people.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually okay. So Dave Duda says it's him. I'm sorry, maybe not Carlos. He says he's been talking about that game.
Wait, one second.
Hey, I got a couple of people checking in while you're doing that. We got Adam. Adam says Western Legends has some heavy poker elements to it too. Hey, Adam, Dustin just got Western Legends, so if you want to try it, that's we got a shot at that when next time Dustin comes in town. Bill Laissez, the designer of Koi, I'm pretty sure, is shouting out to Chris Strain, asking for troubles. I don't know anything about this asking for troubles expansion, so Bill, you're gonna have to let us know about that.
So like even this right here. So this is like, so as you can see, twin tigers. Like, what does this look like? It looks like Double Dragon, right? Like,
yeah, sure. There it is.
Dragon. Like, it is straight up twin tiger. Like, that's Brady and Adam right there. Like, that's them in the game. Like, they do some crazy.
Dan says, I know I'd enjoy Street Masters, but I can't get my current mini games to the table, so I couldn't pull the trigger. So it's about an hour to play the game, right?
I'm serious. Like, I'm straight up. Like, I could actually pull this out right now, move everything off the table, and be up and running in like 5 minutes. Play through the scenario, done. Like, it's such a good game, and like the different types of bosses actually present some interesting challenges. And even if you know the AI, you know how it works. It's still going to present a lot of different challenges. Like, I watch them get their butts kicked, play testing the game. Like, they play it and they still get, sometimes they get their butts kicked. Sometimes they own it, but they, it's like, hey, it doesn't always go their way because it is that interesting of a game. And I mean, everything can come in and come out as you please. You can add the story to the campaign at the same time, throw in the sidekicks, and like, you can do all however you want to do it. There's a lot there to it. So, yeah, one of the games I'll shoot from the roof.
That is Street Masters from Blacklist Games, right?
October 23rd is Aftershock.
All right, BJ from Board Game Gumbo. We have a giveaway to do. My friends over at iHeart Board Games and our buddies at Game Nerds helped us out with a little contest. It's been running for a couple of weeks, and I just did the random.org true random number integer generator, and we pulled out one. I don't know this fellow, but he actually subscribed on the channel, and assuming this person lives in the continental U.S., he is going to be the winner of our Game Nerds giveaway. We're giving away Century Spice Road and Century Eastern Wonders, and we are giving it to Mark Patoka. Mark Patoka. We'll get in touch with him either on Facebook or on YouTube and see. If he doesn't have it, I actually pulled a couple of other names too. So if he is not in the continental United States, someone else may win the contest.
Yeah. So
I want to thank our friends at Game Nerds for doing that, and we'll get that out there. And that's iHeart Board Games. Hey, check out iHeart Board Games when you get a chance, Jambalaya. On Mondays and on Thursdays, they do live plays of games, so you might want to check that out.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Dave Dugas, check it in. There's another Kickstarter coming where you can back Street Masters. I think that's the one you're talking about in October.
So Brook City is already done, and that's in Pledge Manager. But the Aftershock is, like I said, hitting Kickstarter on the 23rd, I believe. I'm going to have a live play on Board Game Revolution BGR Live on October 26th, on Friday the 26th. I'm going to be playing this. Yeah, Friday the 26th, I'm going to be on there. It launches that Tuesday on the 23rd. I'm going to be playing the heck out of this game until they cut me off. Because I don't mind playing it a lot. So,
all right, Jambalaya, my buddy Steve O'Rourke, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here. Got that's right, Jonathan. We had the drum roll, and thanks to Game Nerds, we're giving it out. That's Mark we're going to get in touch with Mark. But my buddy Steve O'Rourke has been cooking up something for you. It's our Jambalaya mashup game.
Wow.
And it's with you. So we're going to throw some out there. But this time we're going to also let the audience participate. And I've got some promos that some of the companies have sent me. So we'll be giving out some of these promos as we play the game. So a mashup. What we're doing is we're taking foods and beverages.
Okay. These are things
and we're mashing them up with a board game.
Whoa.
We're going to give you the clue, and you got to figure out what board game mashup we're talking about. So, for instance, if the clue was kids investigating the best meat and cheese combo, we would be talking about Spy Club Sandwich. Spy Club. Oh, goodness. I said Spy Club. Oh, my goodness. All right, so this is not going to be easy.
You might get me. All right, here we go.
This is not going to be easy, but you've got the audience to help you out. And if they can guess it before you do, they're going to win a nice little promo. So
let's flex my muscles. Here we go.
Here we go. So here's the first one. Pushing cattle and eating gorp. You know what gorp is?
No, I do not.
It's like a trail mix. It's M&Ms and raisins and nuts and berries and all this stuff that you put in a bag. When you're hiking, you eat gorp. So pushing cattle and eating gorp. What do you think that is? Steve says, buckle up. Steve has been working on this for a week, so some of these are going to be good. Oh, come on, Bill. You can get it. Bill says, this is going to be hard. Come on, Bill. Pushing cattle and eating gorp. What board game are we talking there? Think of that cattle clue.
Cattle. I know.
Oh, Bill had a good guess, but it's not it. But he's close.
Yeah.
Oregon Trail mix.
Yeah, I know.
Great Western Trail. Dan Cheston's got it. Great Western Trail.
That was my first thought. I was like, Great Western Trail.
All right, Dan. I've got New York 1901 or I've got New Bedford. You pick, and I'll send you one of those, Dan. All right? So let me know.
Pick the New Bedford. Take the New Bedford. Those won't be around long.
Wait a minute.
They won't be around long.
New York 1901.
Nice. It's nice. Yeah, the New Bedford ones won't be around long.
All right, let's get to the next one. This one I think is going to be a little bit easier. Think about this one. A Bavarian's fast food sliders. A Bavarian's fast food sliders. What is that one? And congratulations to Dan Cheston. Let me write that down so I won't forget. A Bavarian's fast food sliders. What food and board game would that be?
Food, Bavarian, huh?
Bavarian. Nice little European area of Bavaria. Hey, I'll give you a little hint.
Okay, because I'm gonna need it.
It's all over social media the last couple of weeks. The game has been all over. Part of the game. Here's the hint. Part of the game has been all over social media recently.
Wow.
A Bavarian's fast food.
I know. Wow.
Bill says by easier you mean hard as hell.
The hardest one. Oh Lord.
Hey, Jonathan,
Yeah.
I work with the material they give me.
Right.
He says,
I know.
ha ha ha, Spy Club sandwich.
I know. Oh my goodness.
A Bavarian's favorite fast food sliders. What are we talking about there?
What are you talking about? You're killing me. A Bavarian.
Social media. Okay, I'll give you a little hint.
You're killing me with this Bavarian. That's what it is. It's killing me.
I'll give you a hint. Jamie Stegmaier. That's all I'm going to tell you, though. That's all I'm going to tell you. Little hint. Jamie Stegmaier.
My little side.
Somebody out there. Come on, Jonathan. Bill. Adam, I know you know this one if you think about it.
Between
add a word after Bavarian to help out. Bavarians. Oh well, Steve, you've got the show notes. Jump in there. I don't know what word you want me to.
My goodness. I don't know. Fast food.
That's the hint I'm going to give the audience. Come on, audience. And Dan, did you tell me what you wanted? New Bedford or he has not told me yet. New Bedford or 1901. Oh, Bavarian. A Bavarian monarch's favorite fast food sliders. Does that help? Steve, that's not in the show notes.
Is that between what's that one? That new one, between the castle.
You're close. You're close. You're close.
I don't know the name of it though. Like it's between. It's the mashup one. The Castle Ludwig and no,
you know what, Dan? I am going to take care of that for you. I'm going to get in touch with Chris Kirkman and see if I can get that. Oh, so Adam's walking around it also between two cities.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's that between cities and Van Ludwig. But
what's the favorite fat? Oh, he's close. Bill's close. He's got between two White Castles.
Oh,
okay. So I'll give you. You got the first part. White Castles.
Okay.
A Bavarian monarch. What are we talking about there, guys? Come on out there, Bill, Adam. It's not between two cities.
No, it's not.
One part of the game has been talked about, though. What are we talking about? Adam's getting closer. Between two cities.
Yeah, we got it. We got that.
Marshall's got it. White Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
Mad King Ludwig. Okay.
All right, Marshall. You've got New York 1901. I've got the promo for you for New York 1901. It's called Goons of 1901. Hey, Jeremy, Jambalaya. This was one actually designed by high school kids over in New York City. Not bad.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And our friends at Blue Orange published it after doing that. All right, White Castles, and that is Marshall.
Wow.
Marshall's a whiz at this game. You got to bust a bunch of them last time.
Yeah, you guys need to help me out at this point.
All right, let me get one that I think. Okay. Now I know your background, so this is one you're going to get.
All right, we shall see.
All right, guys, ready out there? We got another promo. I've got a couple of Fireside Games promos. I've also got another New York 1901. How about this one? A highball made of clear soda, and it's best served near the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus.
Whoa.
All right, you can come up with the first one. What's the first part? A highball made of clear soda, and it's best served near the Temple of Artemis.
A highball.
Hey, Marshall, I've got here kitty or dastardly dirigibles, or another New York 1901 promo, or I've got New Bedford. You let me know. Jeff, come on, Jeff. What are you talking about, man?
I know, dude. What is this? I do. Oh, you are killing me.
Jonathan has a good mashup. He played Orleans by pulling gummy bears out of the bag, and I guess he was eating them. Okay, I don't think that quite fits what we're talking about. Okay, come on. A highball made with clear soda, and it's best served near the Temple of Artemis. Any ideas out there? What's a highball made of clear soda?
Clear soda. Yeah, you're blanking me out now, too. I'm completely frazzled.
All right, I walk up to the bar, and I want a highball with clear soda, man.
Yeah.
What you making me? No, it's not a club soda. No,
it's not. No, it's not. Wait, how are you getting these people in the comments? Why am I not getting the comments?
You're not seeing them?
No, I'm not seeing them. Are you putting them in there?
What about when I throw it up like this? Do you see them in there?
I see it now when you do that. It's just
okay. Oh, look, Bill Lasik with the win. He says 7 and 7 wonders.
Wow.
That was not bad, huh?
Wow.
7 and 7 wonders. Bill Lasik with the win.
Hey, man, I'm going to claim this as being sick, man. I'm like,
all right, Bill, what do you want, Bill? We've got people are throwing back the promos because they already have them. So you tell me if you want a New York 1901 or you want a New Bedford promo or you want one of the Fireside promos, let me know. Okay, I've got one more for you. Let me see if I can find it.
You know what? This is I just want to claim that this is ridiculous. You guys are supposed to. This is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, like, hey, I'm not feeling good. I came here. You're supposed to treat me right, man. This is hurting me.
It's the audience, though. The audience is winning, right?
They're doing a great job.
They are doing a fantastic job.
You know what? I'm clapping it up for the audience because I am terrible right now.
Yeah, some of these are real. I'm not even giving you the hard ones. Some of these are really hard, man. Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. How about this one? That deep, dark, mysterious part of Germany where you can get the best desserts. I'm going to give you a hint. You've been talking about that game. The deep, dark, mysterious part of Germany where you can get the best desserts. This one might be tough for the audience. I know you know it. Oh, Bradley's got a Thanos Rising promo that we're going to give out if anybody wants it.
Yeah, I got a couple of those too. I got a couple.
Oh, he's got part of it. He says Grim Forest Cake. It's not Grim Forest, but what's a famous forest in a deep, dark area of Germany? And you've been talking about that game, Jambalaya.
I have.
I bet it's on your desk somewhere right now.
Is it?
Yep.
No, it's not. Let's see. No.
Somebody's got to get it. I could give you a hint if you really want to win this one, because I'll give you a hint and you'll get it right now.
I have no idea. What do you?
It's our buddy Jason Tagmeyer. No. It's not Button Shy. No. It's the other one. It's
Black Forest. Black Forest. Into the Black. Oh, wait. What's the mashup? What's the mashup?
Where you can get the best dessert. Bradley is so close. He says Black Forest Cake.
Yeah, I know.
That's not the name of the game.
Yeah.
What's the name of the game?
Black Forest Cake?
Into the Black Forest Cake.
Yeah, Into the Black Forest Cake.
Jambalaya's got it.
Yes.
We got to end
I forgot that it was. I thought it was a German forest. I forgot it was a German.
Yeah, we got to end on a good one with some liquor. What's a good one with liquor that you will get? So who got that one? That was that's actually Jambalaya that got that one. Oh yeah. Now you know it, Bill. It was Into the Black Forest.
Yeah.
Let's throw. How about this one? One last one, and this is for that Thanos Rising promo. If anybody wants it, how about this one? A light. Yeah. So Ninja, a little bit late there, Ninja, but you guys are all around it. That was pretty close, but Jeremy's got it. I'm sorry, Jambalaya's got it. Not that Jeremy Davis. But how about this one? All right, here we go. A light, refreshing drink, just the thing for Vikings. Hey, and by the way, don't feel bad. When we played this game with who was it a couple of weeks ago? They didn't get a single one right. It was Chris Ray. He didn't get a single one right. The audience got them all right. All right, so last one of the night. A light, refreshing drink. Just the thing for Vikings. I'm going to give you a hint. You need to focus on the Vikings, and then you'll get the drink.
Yeah, I know.
You try to do it the other way. I think Steve O'Rourke is diabolical.
I know. I think he's the other way. Oh.
What's a good game with Vikings in it?
Well, there's Raids. There's Raiders of the North Sea. Vikings Gone Wild.
Could be. Raiders of the North Sea. Interesting. Are there? Yeah, but Adam, you got
Raiders of the North Sea Breeze?
Oh, he's got it! He's got it! Wow. I didn't think anybody would get that one. That was a good one from Steve O'Rourke. Raiders of the North Sea Breeze. Hey, you got 2 in a row there at the end.
Yes.
You know what? We're going to end on one more because I'm still trying to get the audience to win one here. All right. And you keep winning them. Last one of the night. Yeah, Bradley, you got to mash it up with some kind of food or drink, though. Blood Rage or Champions of Midgard is close, but how about this one? Boy, this is a tough one, Steve. You are so cruel. Oh, a tough one. Here we go.
Yeah.
Sparkling citrus dice placement. Sparkling citrus dice placement. Hey, I'd love to do one, Bill, but I've got all the show notes. Steve's got them out here. Next time, maybe we can just get Steve to show them out there.
Sparkling citrus.
Dan says, hey, well done, Jambalaya. Well done.
Sparkling citrus. Dice placement.
Sparkling citrus dice placement. I love this one, but this one is just cruel, Steve O'Rourke. I mean, it's really cruel. It's really good, though. It's a fantastic Jambalaya.
The problem is there's a citrus game.
All right, so the hint that I'm going to give you is you got to focus again on the drink this time. A sparkling citrus. What's the drink? Sparkling citrus drink. Man, I wish I knew how to make these. It's got champagne in it.
Yeah.
Oh, Bradley's close, Steve O'Rourke. No. Look, the name father, Bradley is close. He's got Sangrata. It's not sangria. But boy, you don't know how close that is. Ooh, that is really close. Yeah. Steve, I think they're going to get it. Sparkling citrus dice placement. So what's the drink, Jambalaya?
Well, there's spritzer and there's that's why I was going to say it's spritzer. I was going to call it spritzer, but when you mix soda and the wine. But
Ninja's getting closer. Sangria Sagrada.
Sangria Sagrada.
Yeah.
That's not right though.
That is not right. Yeah.
Dude,
the name father says, think more brunchy. Think more brunchy. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it.
But mimosa, what mimosa though? No, mimosa.
Not Sangrata Spritzer. Getting closer, Jeff. Mimosa Sangrata.
Really?
That is very, very close.
Mimosa?
I mean, Jeff's the closer. If I have to, I'll give it to him.
Sagrada Mimosa? Sagrada, yeah, I know. Sagrada Spritzer. Mombasa Mimosa? I don't know. Actually, that could be close. No, Mombasa Mimosa.
That'd be an interesting drink. What do you think, Steve? I'll let Steve call it. Is Mimosa Sangrata close enough?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Mimosa Sangrata is not quite there. Mimosa. It's not even the name of the game, so
no, it's not.
Gotta get the name of the game right. The game is not Sangrata. It's the name of the game?
Mimosa. It's Sagrada.
He says one word. Mush them together. There it is. Jeff's got it. Mimosa Grata.
Mimosa Grata.
Mimosa Sagrada. Mimosa Grata.
We're putting the. Oh Lord.
Well, they got stuck on the Sangria Sangrata.
Okay, well, hold on. Once again, you have put me in a bad position. I was on a streak, and now it's all gone. The moment is all gone now. You know?
We're going to end on a downer. But Jeff Aldridge, congratulations, Jeff. Jeff wins the Thanos Rising promo, and we'll get Bradley to get that out to you. Let me make sure I got that, that I write that down. But you know what? You are the proud holder of the record for most amount of correct guesses on the Jambalaya game.
Look at that.
So give yourself the clap on that one. That's fantastic, man. Great job by Jambalaya.
I don't mind participation trophies.
Oh wait, Bill's got one for. Okay, I'm terrible at these. Why are you giving them to me?
I know.
A planet building chocolate treat. All right, Bill's got one for everybody. A planet building chocolate treat. All right, so what's planet building? Terraforming Mars.
Yeah.
Terraforming Mars.
Terraforming Mars bar?
Jonathan got it, and you guys both got it at the same time before I could even think about it.
Yeah.
That's right. Nicely done, Bill. That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was close. Oh, look, they're all getting it now.
Right.
Jeff Aldridge trying to get that second one. Terraforming Mars Bar.
Yeah.
Steve O'Rourke checking in. Terraforming Mars Bar. That was a great Jambalaya mashup game, and it was awesome getting you to play it. All right, let's get back to this now. All right, board gamers, that's it for another episode of Gumbo Live. That was episode number 48. It is always awesome having Jambalaya. He brings the energy. He brings the games. Jambalaya, you might have broken the record for the most amount of games to talk about on the show. I mean, that was a lot of games.
You know what? I got 10 more, and we.
I know.
I got 10 more. We can go through.
Hey, so tell people, how can they reach you? How can they find out about you?
All right. Well, I can be found on social media at any point under at JambaPG, which is on Twitter, and then I have Jambalaya Plays Games. I'm on Instagram now. I just added myself to Instagram, so Jambalaya Plays Games. And then I also run a show on BGR, Board Game Revolution, the Facebook group. It's called BGR Live. It's on Fridays from 7 p.m. to about 8:30-ish. We play through games. We showcase games on that. And finally, my blog, which is where I started, is JambalayaPlaysGames.com. Previews, reviews, topical stuff. You're going to see a lot of that in my second year.
Hey, I've got it up right now for people to see it.
So thank you so much for having me on. I really do appreciate it. I like to share all the love.
Well, make sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/BoardGameGumbo. You can also catch repeats and cut-ups of the show on our youtube.com/BoardGameGumbo channel. It helps us to get all the word out about all of our upcoming guests and shows, including I've got Jake and Danielle from the Draft Mechanic coming next week. That's why I wore the show. They're going to be talking about how to get a board game night going at a brew pub. They'll also be talking about a cool game out on Kickstarter right now, Homebrewers from Dice Haven Games.
I got the prototype on the way.
It is. So check out the show next week because Jake and Danielle have played it. They played it at Gen Con, and they've also got their prototype, and they're going to be knocking that one out for us next week because I can't wait. I'd say that game's got me excited. Yeah. I'm close to backing it. It's one that I'm really on my radar right now.
Hey, I hate to eat up that one right now, but hey, when they announced that Spirit Island expansion, I about lost my mind, man. Yeah. He was kind of Chris was kind of holding that back when I was talking to him, and he was like, I don't want to, not right now, but I think since it's hitting in October, 15th, I think it is. I can't wait to get my hands on that prototype, man.
There's a lot of good Kickstarters coming out over the next month or two.
Hey, let me tell you, man, October is going to be absolutely out of control. Prepare your wallets.
I'm BJ from Board Game Gumbo, and until next time, Jambalaya, Laissez le bon temps rouler.
Oh, man. Hey, thank you, party people, for joining us today, and hope to see you again.